always good people join. So I have no problem. Dhirastu bhojyamanopi pidyamanopi sarvada atmanam kevalam pashyana na tushyati na kupyati. Look at it. What we are, I have entitled the third chapter, welcome, third chapter as a seeker and meditation. So I'm a seeker, I succeed in meditation. But then how I am going to live my life outside? No, I am full of compassion, and a criminal knocks the door. Because I am full of compassion. Oh, you want to kill me? Please kill me. That is not the journey of meditation. So it means we are not living in the reality. That is one example we have to understand. So the meaning of this, the wise man who is serene within ever perceives the real self in everyone, is neither pleased nor angry when abused and tormented. So it does not mean a criminal enters the door and then says, I'm going to kill you. Please kill me because I'm a great meditator. It doesn't work. So what works? This is what the master is warning this his seeker. So we will understand that. The second one, Cheshtamanam Shariram Swam Pashyat Anya Shariravat Sansta. We have, who is there? Yeah. So Sanstave Chapi Nindayam Katham Chubet Mahashaya. And another verse that means high, this. The person who has succeeded in meditation witnesses his own body as body acting as if it were another's. As such, how can he be disturbed by praise or the blame? Two aspects. So he says that how a meditator lives the worldly life while settled in the real self. So take up the first one. Mother asked the son, please, can you buy a butter for me? I'll prepare a breakfast for you. Oh, butter is always there. It's already there in the refrigerator. Where it is? So he brought the curd, yogurt, and he said, here is the butter. But it is not the butter. You have to extract it. That is what we have to extract from our life, the state of meditation, the state of real self. Until that real self is realized, known, awakened, we have to continue our journey until we are able to extract the butter from the milk or the yogurt. We have to continue our journey. Who can know it? You know it. You know it. Why should a teacher tell you? You have seen many teachers, they say, now let me bless you and you are awakened. That does not work. That never works. But yes, blessing has a role to play. So what this verse says, the seeker, he is using the wise man. The seeker who has purified the mind, he realizes the real self, Now he is totally away from pleasure and anger. Then what how he has to live? He has to sit on a dining table to eat the food. How? So this master is telling him, I know that you are there. So he is testing, and as well as he is giving the guidance that here is a way we have to live in this world. Whether acclaimed or tormented, the serene seeker abides in the self. He is neither gratified nor angered. The mind outside is seeking security because I constantly feel a sense of fear. Because of that fear and the insecurity, I am looking for happiness. How I look for happiness? Because I impose happiness, superimpose happiness on the objects, whether it pertains to the food or accumulation of the wealth or fame, prestige, and recognition. So that keeps the mind constantly attached. That keeps the mind constantly attached to the world outside. Why I said so? Now think of it. You have done practice of meditation, you share your experiences that you are calm, peaceful, happy, and as if you are flying in the world. But after 1, 2, 3, and 4 hours, the mind returns to the same old habit. It returns to the same agitation and anger in the world outside. And that is the reason we do not succeed. So, that is what I explained. As long as the mind continues to give a value more than an object possess, then what will happen? We will continue to live in those fear or anxiety, hesitation inside, even then we control it from outside. Something pops up in my mind. When we go to restaurant and we eat, so what is left over, so we say, oh, let us give us the box, and food is very tasty. So we'll eat at home. That's a normal trend, and that's okay. But but if we keep the leftover impressions in the mind, that will not work. Did you get it? Leftover impressions. Oh, what a great pasta that I have eaten. So that very pleasure remains as an impression in the mind. After meditation, the mind will go there because I have given more value to the object, person outside than it deserves. Wealth, money has a value, no doubt. But if I add value, which is not there, what is that value? Value of happiness, value of peace, which is not there. Honey, you don't love me, and you know your honey is always stressed. So you are giving added value to that. Instead, I should search that peace and happiness within me. This is what the master is pointing. So you don't give added value to any object or a person outside, and you are free. So at that state, the mind is pure. And then you are absorbed into meditation. So the master is pointing to the seeker, what about you? Are you calm? You remain calm? If you get pasta, you are always calm because you like it. But if you don't get pasta, you get another food. So the master is pointing out that your intellect instantly remembers it is eat to live, not live to eat. You accept it. So you are not hesitated. This is what this verse talks about. And you see, in the 4th chapter, this seeker is going to talk how I am living day by day after realizing the real self. So he proves that, he confirms that he is awakened and he is living day to day life. Dhirastu bhojyamanopi pidyamanopi sarvada atmanam kevalam pashyana na tushyati na kupyati. Internally, you are not agitated. Internally, in your mind, you remain calm. But sometimes you have to shout to get the things done. That becomes your play. You play your role. You rehearse it, you are aware it, you shout it, you get the things done. Are you getting it? So it's a role you play outside, inside, you reach there. Look at the 2nd verse. What is the 2nd verse? Yes, this is the. So 2nd verse he says that the seeker witnesses his body acting as if it is others. As such, how can he be disturbed by praise or blame? That's another beautiful. He lives in real self. He lives in pure consciousness. Pure consciousness manifests in peace, happiness, love, wisdom, etc. etc. But outside, because the mind is not at all attached with the body, because he has realized that he is not the body. I'm not attached to my car as an instrument. Same way, the body is an instrument for the manifestation of the real self. Witnesses his actions of the body as if it does not belong to me. It is only an instrument. Now, another word that is very important. Then, how can praise or blame disturb him? I think we discussed about it on Mondays and Thursdays session. There is a wonderful. He is still alive. He's a great master. He lives in South India. So he does a lot of corporate sessions. So there are 500 people sitting there, and he asked them to stand up. Now see the point of awareness. And then he raises his hand, pointing his fingers like this, and he says, let you all say that this monk, this master is crazy. And the moment everyone says, you are crazy, he clenches his fist. He said that I caught the word craziness in my fist, and then I throw it back to you. And then he explains. I will use his words. You see that the word crazy is simply a word. The word cannot affect me. But what affects me is my interpretation of the word in my mind. Are you getting it? The way I give interpretation to a word in my mind of what you spoke affects me. So you keep aside your praise, you keep aside your blame. It never affects you. Why? Because you have not given a value to the word either craziness or goodness. Chestamanam shariram. That is the first thing. The second thing the master points out is little deeper, but you all are seekers, you will pick up easily. When I am not the body, you are looking at me and saying and expressing any word towards me. So it pertains to the body, not to the real self. It does not pertain to the real self. But I told you, if we keep the leftover impressions, leftover food, we must take it home because we like it. That's we offer. But leftover impressions, no way. That is the meaning of purification of the mind. Ramakrishna was a great master. So in one of the mythological texts, it is written, if you take a dip in the sacred Ganges river, all your sins are removed and you will be awakened. So after reading that, that guy went to the Ramakrishna and asked him, is it true that if I take a dip in the Ganges river, all my sins will be washed away? He said, yes, it will be washed away. But the moment you return, you come out of the water of the Ganges river, the sins are waiting at the bank of a river. They will enter into you. Now compare, I practice meditation. I have reached to the highest state, and after 1, 2, 3 hours, mind returns to the same old habit. Same old responses and reactions, same old impressions that we have buried deep inside. These are the leftover impressions lived in the mind. So when the mind is purified, you sit in meditation, only one session is required. Only one session is required. So once we return from meditation, I should remain mindful. If the past impression returns, I should throw it. I should drop it. I should contemplate and reflect on it. After reflection, having a clarity, I should drop and dissolve it. Then only the meditation succeeds in the life. Meditation succeeds in the life simply means now you live, think, speak, and act in meditation. There is no out of meditation. You live into that state of meditation. Many people ask me how many hours. I say only 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening. Because people ask me casually, so there has to be a casual answer. I have to speak a lie. But that is okay. That is the way the world. This is what, understand, take it, start contemplating. We do the practice maybe thrice a week who have joined together, all the entire group, 3 hours. So I have to contemplate and reflect. Am I still into that state of meditation and not? If I am not, it is only the leftover impressions. And the leftover impressions, because I have given an added value, I added more value than the world outside deserves. You're my honey, you should not do this. I have already given value. Let him or her do independently. You make your own choice in day to day living, in your thought, in your speech, in your action. So when you live into that state, this is what the master is saying in these two verses. The first verse, he says, first verse, he talks about that now you are already settled in the real self. So what happens? That pleasure-seeking mind is not running outside. There is no pleasure-seeking mind. It does not mean that you do not live day by day. If you like pasta, okay, eat pasta. But the inner mind does not have a leftover impression that this pasta gives me happiness. Pleasure, okay. Let me have the pleasure, forget it, eat it, finished. So, what it means? It means a meditator lives like every ordinary person. Why I said so, and then we will start practicing meditation. So, I asked my master that we have to become extraordinary